Yes, sir.
Yes, you were there. I guess I'm starting this off. I'm Randall Callanan, and I'm a civil rights lawyer. I sue police for abuse and I do freedom of speech and so forth. And about 6 years ago, I started doing art and getting involved in the art world. And one of the very first artists I met was Victor Hugo Zambrano Navarro, and got to know him through his art and so forth. One of the things that struck me is I'm a civil rights lawyer, and so a lot of artists, they have a lot of whimsical work, but Victor's had a lot to do with politics and oppression and so forth. That was really quite something. I had a show where he put up his work from what's called 72, which was, in my words, and he has his own words for it, but it was, one of the main features of it was there was a large massacre in northern Mexico. 72 individuals were killed, and I asked them about the story, and apparently it was, these were immigrants that were from Central America going through to the United States. However, one of the drug cartels they come across one of the drug cartels, and as the story goes, because there was apparently one survivor out of the 72, they did not agree to be a part of the drug cartels themselves, and so they were killed. So it was a very haunting work, but it exemplified the problem that was in Mexico with the drug cartels and what it's doing to society and so forth. And I've had many art shows at my place. I have a large gallery. It's about 3 or 4 times the size. And Victor has been in quite a few of them. One of them is called Cornucopia Incorporated, which was about food and eating. And Victor, as a matter of fact, I had three jurors, and there were, there was the head, the society and art editor of City Pages. There was, I forget the artist's name.
Catherine Anspon.
That was Catherine Anspon, and then Bert Long Jr., a very famous artist, and the third one was Lester Marks, who's probably could be considered maybe the biggest collector in all of Houston, and consider monetary wise. And they judged the art, and they picked Victor as one of the winners. He had this. The one thing about Victor is the art always seems to be different when I see it. Next time it's always different. And this was a big wood piece, and then he had this, because he's an architect also, he had this really big metal swooping thing, and then he used his coffee cans and some tape, and he hung something from the ceiling. So it was really quite interesting, and the jurors found that to be quite something, which led him into the next show called And the Winners Are, because he was one of the winners that was chosen. But so this work here today that we are here, as you see, Victor's not feeling too well, but his art moves him so much that he put most of this work came in the last 3 months. So it did a tremendous amount of work. And then one of the things that touches me is that a lot of it is about the country of Venezuela. And in Venezuela, Hugo Chavez has recently passed away, and so there's been a lot of changes in the country. I don't know what you think about Hugo Chavez, but most leaders, since I'm a civil rights lawyer, I don't think much of any leaders, because they're always oppressors no matter what. So, but anyway, they're experiencing some severe changes. However, there's a freedom in that change that is coming across in Venezuela, and so that's why you see some of the dancing figures. And but in here also is interesting work, and this is a leopard which is endangered, and so this is also a newer idea, maybe not new to me, that Victor is about how the leopard is being endangered and so forth. And it also kind of exemplifies, along with the gold, the richness of Venezuela, because it's a big oil exporter and so forth. And Victor had a lot of experiences with people from Venezuela coming to the United States who had many horrible experiences. Their assets were taken, and so forth. And so the people, as they are, that's kind of a freedom that they're getting. But anyway, so I've known Victor for a few years now. He's been in like 4 or 5 of my shows, and he's going to be in my next show that's coming up called The Art of Habit and Addiction. So I did a piece for that. But he's a great artist. Both serious work, a lot of serious work about current events, what's happening in Mexico and in Latin America and in South America. And I really just am proud to be acquainted with Victor, and I'm actually humbled that he would even ask me to say one word about him rather than all these words I just blabbed out. So I just really appreciate being here, Victor.
No, thank you. I really thank you for being here. And still doing my work.
Thank you very much.
Neshteliketo shua, neshteliketo pipi, cuatli tlazakamati, nahuanire, Houston, Texas. Ken toca Jesus Medel. I'm speaking to you in the Aztec language. Good evening, ladies. Good evening, gentlemen, is what I said. My name is Jesus Medel from Houston, Texas. And I use that language because within the museum that I work with, which is Museo Guadalupe, Aztlán, we're a micro-museum, a museum without walls. But yet, within our museum, our purpose statement is to promote indigenous folk arts of the Americas. The arts that were here before 1519, when the Europeans arrived. And the artwork that I'm more attracted to, and I've mentioned this to Victor, is the jaguar. In fact, I had a 6th generation Aztec dancer make an outfit of the jaguar coat that we were going to use today, but it didn't work out. But that's just one example of indigenous folk arts, those dance outfits that are still made by the artists in Mexico and Central America as well. But as I was thinking about what is, in my mind, the most important part of Mr. Zambrano's work is that it's a pictorial memoir of his life. And of course, this work here is those pieces of his life that he passed maybe at his darkest hours, we hope not. Maybe at his most pleasant hours. Maybe when he was reflecting on his childhood. So I see Victor, Mr. Zambrano, as a historian, but also, of course, an artist, so that what we're getting here is something that you will not see anywhere in the world. No one is going to paint this jaguar just like the gentleman did, or this painting that's right here. So he is bringing us into the most intimate parts of his life, into his secrets, you might say. So if you really search into the work, you will see some hidden messages in the artwork that only this world knows. And hopefully he might share some of those with us today. So I like to think of it as medicine, the work that's here, because art, from one point of view, makes us more human, because we are drawing from the human experiences, beginning with the artist, the environments that are reflected in the artwork. So we are privy to some very important and historical work that the master, Mr. Zambrano, has created for us. So he has led us into his living room, you might say, into the living room of his mind, so to speak. So Mr. Zambrano, I'm honored.
Thank you.
And I'm moved by your artwork, because you have given us another window of humanity through your artwork. And we welcome you here to our campus.
Thank you, and thanks everybody for coming to the show. If you guys have any questions, I'll try to answer as many as I can of the work. I am not feeling very well. I'll stay here for another 30, 45 minutes. Any questions you have, I'll be able to. Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome.